What I'm going to share with you is going to make a number of executive coaches and CEOs feel very uncomfortable. As a CEO for 30 years, I hired a lot of executive coaches to work in my companies. And I can tell you what makes one fantastic and one passe, I almost forget them. Let me explain. So do not hire an executive leadership coach if you're trying to get a very poor performer to start performing. What a complete waste of money. Put them on a performance management plan. Secondly, do not hire an executive coach unless you, as a CEO, have made sure the organization has a capability framework. What a complete waste of time. Now, why would you want to bring an executive coach into your business? Well, let's just set the scene. You've got some significant projects happening over the next 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years. You literally want to grow your business and your company, and you know what skills you need to bring into your company to do this. You also know that there's a shortage of skills out there in the market, and so you may have to grow your own talent. Now, you also know that there's a number of people going to be retiring, and you need people to rise through the rank to take on those key positions. So now you know why you need an executive leadership coach. So what you need to do is find someone that's going to partner with you, because this is where it goes really bad. You hire an executive coach. They build a relationship with the employee, and then they start to separate from the company. And so as a CEO, I quite often say to HR or to senior leaders, how is that coaching going? What's happening? Are you seeing results? And they'd say, we don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Well, we haven't really heard back from the coach. And the coachee really doesn't tell us much about what's going on either. Are you seeing any tangible results? Sort of. You see, there's no two-way communication, and that means that that executive coach has failed. Number one, if the company has paid for an executive coach to work with an employee, that relationship straight away needs to be clearly structured. So in other words, the individual knows that they've been employed by the company to work with a coachee, but it's a performance relationship. It's a relationship where you're building trust, and of course, the senior leadership doesn't need to know about the conversations around vulnerability that happen. But what they do need to see is if the individual feels that their confidence is increased and whether or not they can give examples of that increase. So that means that they would say, yes, my confidence level since working with the coach has increased by X. How? Well, I gave a presentation at that meeting and this is what I did and this is the change that has been made. Now, if that executive coach is giving feedback to the organization and saying, this is where I've seen the improvements, and I have now some really tangible examples of where those improvements have taken place, then that is really fantastic, right? Because then you actually got a partnership. Then you've got someone that says, I really believe that your capability framework, which is talking about these leadership traits, is actually really taking effect with the people that I'm coaching. And I can see that they're rising in their level of organizational skills. I can see that they're rising in their level of executive presence. And I can see it because here's some tangible examples. Now, we don't need to know about the conversations that go on because, of course, we need to share our vulnerabilities and we need some help to get us there. But it doesn't mean that that relationship gets separated. Okay, and that is where a number of executive coaches fail. What happens is that the executive coach goes off separately to the business where they need to partner with the business. That's what makes the massive difference when you do executive coaching with companies.